like a bird. We keep the commandments, don't know what you heard. Pull out some scripts like I'm a director. I stay with my sword, I'm ready whenever. It's the end of the world.
Broke his commandments, right? Because if you look around at our people, do we do what God said to do? The blacks and Hispanics? No. You know what I'm saying? Do we get married and have strong families? No, we got what? Baby mamas, baby daddies, single parent homes, girlfriends, all that kind of stuff, right? Let's see what God said was going to happen to us for doing that type of stuff. Read this. Deuteronomy 28. Let's get to it. We're going to show, this is how we know who we are. Because I've been telling you, oh, we Israel, the blacks and Hispanics, right? What you should have told me is what? Wait, prove that we the Israelites. You keep saying we Israel, prove it, right? How do we know we Israel? I'm going to show you with the Bible, right? Because what better way to get it? Me telling you, I can tell you anything. But let's see what God says, right? Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So this is Moses, right? Let's give some context. They just came from Egypt. What did Moses do at the Red Sea? Remember, he parted the Red Sea, right? And brought the Israelites through out of slavery, right? So now they're on the other side of the Red Sea, he's talking to them, right? And he said, it's going to come to pass if you don't listen to God to do what?
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So he got him on the other side. He said, hey, this is what's going to happen to you if you don't keep God's commandments, right? Read.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
He said all these curses are going to come upon you and overtake you. Jessica, is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing, right? So God told Moses to tell the Israelites, if you don't keep my commandments, I'm going to make all these bad things come upon you, right? Read verse 46 real quick. Because we got to see what these curses are for, right? Read that.
Verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign. And
he said these curses are going to be upon the Israelites for a sign. What does a sign do? I see this sign right here, huh? Like we see this sign right here, let us know that's Parkway Drive, right? I see that sign and let me know that's a DK, right? A sign shows you something, right? So he said these curses are going to be on the Israelites for a sign to show you who the Israelites are, right? Read.
And for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
He says it's going to be on their seed forever, because remember this was thousands of years ago, right? Is forever still going? Right, so he said these signs are going to be upon the Israelites' seed. What is our seed? What is a man's seed? Think, if I plant an apple seed, I get what? I get an apple tree, right? So if a man plant his seed in a woman, you get what? Kids, right? So he said these curses are going to be upon the Israelites' children forever. So we can still look at these curses today and we should be able to say, okay, that fit them, that fit them, that fit. That must be the Israelites, right?
Right.
Let's read 16. Watch this.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
So the first thing he told the Israelites, he said, cursed you're going to be in the city if you break the commandments, right? So any city you go to, Jessica, if you want to find the hood, the ghetto, where the drugs at, where the prostitution at, where the poverty at, what race of people live there? What race of people live where in the hood, the ghetto? What race of people do you see over there? Blacks and Mexicans, right? But remember, who was Moses talking to? He told the Israelites, if you break my commandments, you're going to live in the hood. You're going to live in the ghetto. You're going to live in the worst parts of the town. Everywhere, right? Because it's not just in Lubbock. Anywhere you go, if you want to find a ghetto, you go look for Chinese people. You go look for white people. You go look for who? Blacks and Hispanics, right?
Bring it out.
This curse is a sign of who Israel is, right? Read.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
He said, cursed shall thou be in the field. When you think about fields, slave fields, cotton fields, who was there? Blacks and Mexicans. When you think today, who's still out in the fields right now picking watermelons and nuts and berries and trying to sell them on the side of the road? Blacks and Mexicans, right? But remember, who was Moses talking to? Israelites, right? Watch this, 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
He said, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people. Was there a point in time where our sons and daughters were given to another race of people? Yes, right? When? In slavery, right? And then let's think about today. If you go look at the border right now, is the so-called Hispanics sons and daughters being given to another race of people? Right. But that's what God said was going to happen to who? The Israelites, right? Read.
and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand.
He said your eyes gonna look and fail with longing. I mean, you're gonna sit there and cry all day long, and there won't be no might in our hand, right? When you look at ICE, when they show the news down there, what are the parents doing? The ones who got their kids taken, what are they doing? Crying, right? Why? Do they got an army that can go get their kids back? No. But God said this was gonna happen to the Israelites, right? In slavery, when they took our children, did we get to go back and get our kids back? No, right? But let's think. It said your sons and daughters are going to be given to another race of people. Let's be fair, right? It's a group, the people over there that call themselves Jewish, right? They had their sons and daughters taken from them, right? But it says to another people. Was it taken by another race of people? That was white people taking white people. That was the same nation of people taking their kids, right? And then it says you should have no power in their hand. Do you know they still hunt down Nazis to this day?
Bring it out.
They got power. We ain't got power. But he said the real Israelites, they're going to get theirs taken. They're going to have no power. Right? I got a question for you. How did my people get to America? How? Or on what mode? On boats, right? How did the so-called Hispanics get to Spain? Some of them was already there, but the ones that was over here, how they get over there? Remember I told you Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, right? And discovered America where there was people at. Make it make sense, right? But he came and then he went back to Spain, right? When he went back to Spain, guess what he took with him? Slaves, so-called Mexican slaves, so-called Native American slaves. He took them back to Spain, right? On what? Ships, right? So, question, what did you learn about slavery at? In school, right? What if it's in the Bible? What are we supposed to learn the Bible at? Church, right? So if slavery is in the Bible, we should learn it at church, right? Is slavery in the Bible? Let's see. Watch this.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
It said the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. Give me Egypt. Right? Because, like I said, what were they doing? What were the Israelites doing in Egypt before Moses split the Red Sea? What were their status as a people? Were they the royalty? Were they the highborns? What was the Israelites in Egypt? Because you remember what did Moses had to tell Pharaoh? Let my people go. That means his people was what? If I got to tell you to let my people go, they what? Incarcerated. But if it's a whole nation, it's not a jailhouse, it's a whole nation, so they what? Slaves.
Right.
Slaves. But watch this, I'm going to let the Bible, because like I said, we don't isolate scriptures. I'm going to let the Bible let you learn what Egypt is. Read that.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
He said, I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, which is what? What does bondage mean? Slavery, right? They were bound in Egypt. They were slaves in Egypt. So he said, Egypt is synonymous for slavery, right? So now let's go back and read what he's saying in Deuteronomy 28. Watch this.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said the Lord gonna bring you to Egypt again, or slavery again. How?
With ships.
How did we get to America? What did we come to America as? Did we come as free people? We came as what? Slaves. So God told Israel, what he gonna do?
Bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
He told Israel, I'm gonna bring you into slavery again with ships this time.
Bring it out.
Dang, that sound familiar, right? We went to slavery on ships. But Moses is telling Israel they're going to go into slavery on ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
By the way whereof I spake unto that old Egypt with the pyramids that y'all built, you're not going to see that one no more again. You're going to go to a new house of bondage. A new place of slavery. Read.
And there,
once you get out them ships, right? You're going to go to a new, this is a map of the transatlantic. That's why I keep using this. This is a transatlantic slave trade, right? So they took us from all over here, right? We ran from Jerusalem over here. They took us all over. That's why it's North, South, Central America, right? They brought us all over here as slaves. He said, once you get off them slave ships, read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
He said you're going to be sold unto your enemies. Did we get sold to somebody once we got off slave ships? Who did we get sold to? To the whites, right? But God said you're going to be sold to who? Who he said you're going to get sold to? Read it again.
Your enemies.
He said you're going to be sold to your enemies, right? So we got put on ships, brought into slavery, and got sold to our enemies. Right? Read.
For bondmen,
For slave men.
and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So we came as slave men and slave women, and he said no man shall buy you, which means to save or redeem, because we got sold on auction blocks. But buy means to save or redeem. Nobody's going to save you once you come to this side of the world in slavery. Right? Once you get off them slave ships, nobody gonna save you, right? Martin Luther King couldn't, Barack Obama couldn't, Malcolm X couldn't, Cesar Chavez couldn't, Cha-Cha Jimenez. Keep naming them. None of them can save us, right? Because if you look at a ghetto, who's still there? Who's still getting our kids taken? Us, right? But who is Moses talking to right here? Who is he addressing? The Israelites, right? He told the Israelites, if you break the commandments, these things are gonna happen to you, right? Who did all these things happen to? To us, the blacks and Hispanics, right? So Moses prophesied, if you break the commandments, this is what's going to happen to you. And then all of those things happen to us, the blacks and Hispanics. Who must we be? Think about it. Moses was talking to who? The Israelites, right? The Israelites were slaves in Egypt. He told them they're going to be slaves again on ships, right? But it was the Israelites who he was talking to, right? And he said, if you break my commandments, these things are going to happen to you. We look up to today, and we look at the things that he said was going to happen. They happen to us, right? So who must we be according to the Bible? We the Israelites, sis. We are the Israelites that Moses was talking to when he split the Red Sea. Who went through there? That was our forefathers.
That's right.
We are the Israelites, right? And we're suffering. The reason we're in the condition that we're in, because we break God's commandments. We refuse to keep God's commandments. We love the traditions of men, right? And that's why we keep following these, like birthdays, all that kind of stuff. As long as we keep following that, God can't save us, because you ain't listening to what I told you.
Right.
God, give me Amos 3. Right? You have children? You got nieces, nephews? All right, let's say, I always use this example, right? So you go to school, right? You look in the window in your nephew class, right? And everybody in the class is cutting up, jumping on desks, doing all kind of manner of evil, right? When you go in there, who do you grab? You grab your nephew. You don't grab everybody, right? You go grab your nephew, right? And you do what? You punish him. Hey, sit your butt down. Might go in the bathroom, whoop his butt, right? I'm trying to use better words, right? You might go punish him, discipline him, right? Let's see what God said. God is our father, right? He's the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's see what he said about his kids. Read that.
Look at Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Who are you talking to, Jessica? Children of Israel, right? Which is the blacks and Hispanics. Read.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
You hear that, sis? He told the Israelites, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Right.
Everybody on the earth, you the only one that I deal with. It's 18 nations. But he said the ones who live in the ghettos, the ones who came on slave ships, that's the people I'm dealing with. He said, you only have I known of all the families on the earth. That don't sound like he coming to save everybody, right? Read.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
And because you the family that I deal with, I'm going to punish you for all of your sins. The same way you go in that classroom, you don't deal with all the other kids. I deal with my nephew. I'm going to punish him for what he doing. God said, of all the nations on the earth, I'm going to punish you for what you did. All the nations on the earth for breaking God's commandments. But he didn't give him the instructions. He gave us his instructions. He said, since you break it, I'm going to whoop you. I'm going to punish you because you broke the rules that I set. Right? So that's why we go through what we go through. That's why we live in the ghettos. That's why we go, because God only deals with us. Right?
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example.
family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.